Imagine being at the beach, enjoying the sun, the sand, and the waves when suddenly something happens that you would never have believed if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes. From incredible animal encounters to extreme water sports, these 15 beach moments captured on camera are so unbelievable that if they weren't recorded, no one would believe they happened. Get ready to be amazed and astounded by these mind-blowing beach moments. Really, you see unbelievable things happening in this video. Quickly give this video a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all our gripping stories. Now, let's begin. For fights off shark, no matter how much you love being in water, this would leave anyone traumatized. The video was captured during a world surfing competition in Johannesburg, South Africa, in July 2015, where one of the surfers was attacked by a shark. Mick Fanning is a three-time world champion from Australia who was attacked by a shark that approached him from behind. In a desperate attempt for survival, he managed to hit the shark multiple times, jammed his board in the shark's mouth, and managed to escape unharmed. Shortly after the incident, the surfing competition was cancelled. Man rescues great white shark. Okay, let me ask, what would you do if you came across a great white shark stranded on the beach? You'll do what the man in the first clip did. No, you'll tie it up with a boat or something and then free it in the water. I mean, anyone with a sane mind would do that. But no, this man had something else in mind because he held the shark's tail with his bare hands and dragged it back to the water. I mean, yeah, a very good deed he did, but you'll need to try and be more careful. You know, there was a big chance that the shark might have taken him with it and made a whole meal out of him. A sunbathing crocodile, recorded by a tourist in 2019 in Mexico. This clip shows the lone crocodile crawling back to its home like an emperor back to his palace. The people on the beach were horrified and didn't go near the croc till he was back in the water with no plan to turn around and have lunch. Thankfully, it was later known that there was an ecological reserve nearby which feeds these crocs. And this one was surely returning after lunch with his tummy full. Or the people on the beach might not have been that lucky. Shark feeds on dead dolphin. Witnessing the brutal raw moments of nature is ironically better than a place that we call a zoo. Drone footage taken in 2020 by the Southern California coast shows a great white shark who tore apart the bleeding carcass of a dolphin as it was in the middle of its lunch. As terrifying as they may be, they are the cleaners of the ocean. Moments like these are quite rarely documented where a predator can be seen playing its role in balancing nature. Whales washed ashore, November 7, 2017. The world witnessed a bizarre phenomenon when around 140 pilot whales were seen, all washed ashore, all of them together. People said that there was a chance that they might have beached themselves, but the reason remained unknown for this mysterious behavior. According to the locals, this wasn't the first time that this had happened, and that sea creatures were seen before washed up on the beach. But such a few whales beaching themselves happened. For the first time ever, the rescue workers were called, but until they could reach it, it was too late, and the whales were all gone already. An aggressive hippo, with the reason behind this hippo's anger burst unknown. All we know is that he really wants to reach the boat and smash it all up. Captured in 2021, this clip shows an angry hippo furiously chasing a tourist's boat in Kenya. When passing by, the tourists noticed that the hippo was looking at them, but what they did not know was its intentions. Good thing the boat was fed west and the tourists were actually able to save themselves. Man saves baby dolphin on a beach in Namibia in June 2016. A brave and quick-thinking man saved the life of a baby dolphin who had become stranded after washing ashore. Pelican Point kayaking owner 𝗪𝘓𝗔 discovered the helpless dolphin on his way back from a morning tour. Without hesitation, he checked that the juvenile male dolphin was okay, picked him up and carefully deposited him back in the ocean. The incident was filmed and shows the tour guide waiting in the water with the 𝗵𝗲𝗄 dolphin while he settles into the ocean and finally swims away. The heartwarming footage was uploaded to Pelican Point Kayaking's Facebook page and became a social media sensation overnight, with a whopping 3 million views in less than 24 hours. At the time, Dreyer said he wasn't sure the young dolphin would survive the ordeal, but once he got into the water, his instincts had taken over and he took off like a bullet. Despite the positive outcome, whales and dolphin conservation discourage people from helping, as it can be dangerous. Nevertheless, in this instance, all was well, and thanks to Dreyer, the little dolphins were back swimming in his natural habitat safe and sound. A crocodile suddenly appearing, swimmers and sunbathers at Taron National Natural Park in northern Colombia quickly abandoned their beach towels and sunscreen when a toothy beast casually wandered across the sand towards them in January 2019. The incident was filmed by an eyewitness who watched a group of men wandering along the sand right into the path of the scaly reptile, unaware of its presence. Upon realizing the imminent danger, the men are seen fleeing from the creature with thoughts of becoming its afternoon snack, no doubt running through their minds. Although potentially dangerous to humans, local officials say this species is not known to be as aggressive as some others, with around 15 living in the national park. How reassuring. Beachgoers were also reminded that the park was not just for people to enjoy. It was also home to the protected wildlife, so it was not unusual to see them in the area. And it seems the land-loving croc isn't the only one to watch out for. With the saltwater version responsible for 30 attacks per year, experts advise staying at least 20 meters away and not to provoke or swim near them. Perhaps relaxing by the pool might be a safer option. A walking starfish. We all know Patrick from SpongeBob, and we all love starfish in the water. Let's just say I'm only a fan of theirs if they stay under the water, because on the ground, trying to walk so slowly, they look nothing but creepy as hell. Imagine walking on the beach with no one around and seeing this creepy fellow sunbathing. I mean, why can't they just stay underwater? Orca stuck on rocks. A video posted in December 2021 shows a distressed orca that was found stuck on rocks. Locals in the area tried their best to help the animal stay alive by throwing water at it. Later, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, arrived in the area and managed to free the stuck orca on rocks once the high tide came in. According to them, the orca got stuck after it came too close to the rocks when the low tide kicked in. Manta Ray Rescued. When a huge manta ray washed up on the beach, people were a little hesitant to help her at first, but then two of the men urged the others to come help them, as the giant, helpless creature was in desperate need of their help due to the net straps. The unfortunate animal was absolutely immobilized, and if it weren't for these heroic men, it would have died. They asked everyone to lend a hand. As the time was running out, everyone sprinted to save the ray at 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗃 in Brazil and ended up saving the life of a lovely creature. A gray visitor. A man was recording the peaceful moments on the beach through his drone when he came across a weird sight. A massive gray whale was seen lurking beneath the clear blue waters, with the humans being ignorant of her presence right underneath them. As soon as they noticed the whale, they tried getting away. But the whale might just be there for a swim. Or maybe she just wanted to be friends. But no human tried befriending her, so we shall never know. Amazing sand art. Professional sand modeler Matt Long is one very clever artist. He travels the world creating sandcastles, earning up to $70,000 for one of his intricate sculptures. Long has worked for Rockefeller Plaza, Ringling Brothers, and Nickelodeon, and it's easy to see why. He creates fairytale-like castles with incredibly fine detail, and he does this for a living, a far cry from the sandcastles we created as children, with an upside-down bucket, perhaps a moat if you were lucky. These sculptures are simply amazing. One of his most amazing creations, a 10-foot-tall sculpture of a fairytale palace, was filmed in New York in 2013. The stunning and elaborate sculpture was so detailed, it takes the art of making sandcastles to a whole new level. It featured a staircase wrapping around a high tower, intricate arches, individual bricks, and tiny windows, all made from sand and water. A Staten Island local long started creating sculptures from sand with his children whilst on vacation over 20 years ago, and has entered and been placed in world championship sand sculpting competitions. The beauty of his work, however, is fleeting, disappearing over time, leaving a blank landscape for another castle to rise from. Huge cliff collapse. Imagine your horror when strolling along the beachfront one day, minding your own business, and the next minute the cliffside surrounding you starts to implode. The reaction for many would be to run. But not so for Norfolk local Brad Dams, who decided to stop and film the cliff fall at Side Strand, near Cromer. He was there to complete research as part of a 6-month monitoring project using 3D scans to track any changes in the coastline. Dams was in the right place at the right time, considering himself very lucky to witness thousands of tons of rock falling into the Atlantic. The area had seen intense rainfall at the time, and the cliff collapse may have resulted from this. Members of the public were warned that other cliff edges could be vulnerable and were urged to give the area wide berth. The dam's footage shows the dramatic moment when a large section of the cliff collapses, with chunks from the top peeling off and pushing the rest down with it to the beach below. The process began around 6:00 a.m., with the earth falling all the way to the waterline, making it impossible to walk along the beach between Trimmingham and Side Strand at high tide. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing for more crazy clips. Want to see more moments you wouldn't believe? Then click on one of the following videos.